How in the world do I transform a heart frame into an angel wing wreath?
I get confused on how to fold the feathers. Is there a trick that might help me?
And could you please show me where to place the feather petals on the frame? Maybe a chart?
What about adding flowers or a bow? And what type of mashing colors do you use the most?
What about the back? Do you always finish it with fabric or something? And if so, how do you do that?
I want to make an Angel Wings Wreath, but I need a little help.
Well, let's see if I can share a few tricks of the trade that might help. Just sit back and enjoy while I share a few of my secrets to perfect angel wings. Hi, Laura Grisham here with Laura Grisham Designs. Today I want to share with you a few of the things that I've learned when it comes to making angel wings. Like where to cut that metal frame. How do you prepare it to make those angel wings? And where do you put those petals? I'll even give you a chart so that you can copy it and keep it in your files, and you'll always know where to put those feathers and have the perfect set of wings. I'll be right back with all of this and more. Laura Grisham Designs. Okay, the first thing that you're going to need is a heart frame. Now, this is January the 2nd, 2025, and I'm telling you, I'm having a hard time finding them. Usually Dollar Tree offers these for $1.25. So far, they're not offering them in their store or online as of yet. I stopped at 3 Dollar Trees from Missouri into Arkansas yesterday. Still couldn't find any. So I did purchase a few before Christmas on Amazon, and they're Dollar Tree heart frames, but you're not paying $1.25 for them. You're paying quite a bit more. Last year, I bought a case. I used them all. This year, I'll buy several cases if they're available. But anyway, let me just show you. This is one I got from Amazon. It is a 12-inch heart frame, or at least that's how it's advertised. When I measured it from here, I think it was from here to here, it was really closer to 13 inches. But it doesn't really matter. What you do, you take your frame. I'm going to show you, this is what it looks like when it's been cut. All right, and I have taken a white marker and marked it so that you could see it better. You take your frame, and you're actually going to cut out this section right here. And if you'll notice, I've cut this so that it's flush. Now, in the past, I've not done that, but I'm going to show you what I do. Okay, we're going to take this heart frame, and we're actually going to cut out this section right here. Now, if you feel like you don't want to do it quite that extreme, start at the bottom right here and cut. Go up to the next section and cut. Go up to the third section and try to cut it right at that V. There we go. Now you can spread this out. That's where we get the wings, okay? And it looks like this. In the past, I left these just like this. You don't really have to do that. If you do, you need to put some masking tape, duct tape, electrical tape, something along these edges because they're really sharp. I was using hot glue and balling it up on the edges there to try to soften that. But what I've been doing lately is going ahead and cutting these sections off. And all you have to do is, again, go as close to that bar right here as you can and cut each little section off. I'm going to try to do this where you can see and not have these fly across the room. Okay, just like this. Like that. And yes, you need a good pair of wire cutters for this. These particular cutters work really well. There we go. All right. Let me pull this camera down so you can see a little bit better. We'll do it like this. Okay. Okay, like that. And I still have some sharp sharp edges here, as you can see. And I could go back and trim those, all right? Now, the next thing that you have to do after you cut this part off too is to go to this middle part, because this is where your floral foam is going to go to put your flowers or your bow or whatever that you decide to do. Now, what I do is I just cut out this top bar right here. So I'm going to go right here. And cut this section out. There we go. Just like that. All right. Now I have this, which looks like this. Okay. And you can see that I got these a lot. I cut these off really close. And I will probably go ahead and still put a little ball of hot glue on these edges here, just to make sure that nobody snags anything, or that my mesh doesn't get snagged on the edges of the frame. Now, I took a piece of foam board and I traced my form like this so that I would have another visual on where to place the petals. Now, before we even do that though, we got to know how to make the petals. I've done several videos on that and shown you some tricks, but I'm going to go ahead and do it really quick. Do a left facing and a right facing petal, and that way there won't be any questions on how to do that. Okay, let me bring my camera down and I'll show you what to do. Well, let's see if I can get it where you can see. All right, here we go. You're going to take a square piece of mesh. This happens to be horizontal wide stripe. I wanted to use a piece of white. I had this cut. I believe this is, let's see. Oh, it's 10 inches. By 10 inches, okay? If it's 10.5 inches wide, then cut it at 10.5 by 10.5. You need a square. You're gonna take it, and to do the left petal, well, just whatever you do, this is how you do it to keep them going the right direction, okay? I've got my raw edge right down here. This time, I'm gonna take it with my raw edge and fold it this way, okay? With my raw edge. And I'm going to match this up, and I'm going to put a clip right here. Now this is what I do, and this is how I keep my petals, my feathers, looking neat, and well, I'm real picky about my petals, and this is how I keep them looking nice and sharp. Now notice right here, this does not match up, but this does down here, and that's more important. Now I'm going to go ahead right here down the middle, and I'm going to scrunch up. I'm just going to gather it just like this, okay? And I have this. It looks like little wings. I'm going to take this and I'm going to hold it right here, and I'm going to actually flip this over on top. Now when I go this way, I don't have a finished edge on top here. The one with the finished edge is on the bottom. So I'm going to take this, and holding it right here, I'm just going to take it and flip it over like this, and just gather it right there, just like this. See that? Take your zip tie or your rubber band. I just prefer to use zip ties, and go ahead and close that up, and take off your clips and spread it like this. All right, that gives it a nice shape, and you have a perfect angel wing. And I have my finished edge on top, and it's facing in See how it's curving in like this? That will go on the left side. It'll go like this. Okay? Now to do the one going the other direction, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start though, instead of having a raw edge at the bottom, I'm gonna have a finished edge at the bottom. You're just turning it a quarter of the way around. You're gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna match up these sides and put a clip. And you can use those little quilting clips too. They work really good. They're smaller. I just thought these would be easier to see. So clip it there and go ahead and smooth it out. And we're going to gather this right up the top, up the middle, to the top. And this time, when I flip this over on top, my finished edge is on top. So I don't have to flip the whole thing over. It's already there. So now I just kind of gather this in like this. Got that little nub. I'm going to grab a zip tie and zip tie this. Take off my clips. And I'm going to spread this again. Okay, and there we go. We have nice, pretty petals. Okay, and this one, here's the one we had previously done. This one goes on this side. And see how pretty that is? All right, that's all there is to it. On one, you have the raw edge facing to you, and you fold it. The other side, it's the finished edge facing you. It's folded the same way, okay? So that's how you fold your petals. Now then, where do those things go? Well, that's not hard either. We're gonna take our frame like this, and we're actually gonna start right here on this middle bar at the cross beam, right here. And I've got it, like I had showed you before, I've got it like this, and you can screenshot that if you'd like, showing you exactly where the petals go and what order, like 1, then 2, then 3. And you can do like, let's say you want to do 1 here and then do 1 here. 2 and 3, and then go over here and do 2 and 3. Or you can do all one side and then go over here and do the other. I like to kind of go back and forth because I want to balance it and make sure that when I put my feathers on one side, they kind of mirror each other so that it's a pleasing pattern, okay? So let's go ahead. Let me see if I can get this camera down where you can see. I'm going to pause it. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm ready now. I actually used a different placement for my phone, for my camera. All right, now remember, you want your petals, your feathers to face like this, with the curve coming in like this. Now, if you put it the other way, you might want to do your wings that way. That's just not how I've done it. But if you choose to do that, just be consistent with it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put the first petal, the number 1, right here on this little cross beam, right here. We're going to put our petal right there. So we're just going to go right here, put a zip tie, and get that right there. And when you zip tie your petals on, one other thing, be sure that you go below the zip tie on the feather petal, so that you've got a double clasp, I guess you could say, on the petal, so that the mesh doesn't slip out or anything. So we have that there. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go right here on this middle bar and put my petal. Now, I'm going to try, move this out of the way. I want this to, this one, see how it's longer? I don't know if, with the angle if you can tell. I'm gonna push this up some, I think. Well, I'm gonna have to put on a new zip tie. Let's try this again. Okay. I want it to be even. I want these tips to be even. So it looks like, for some reason, I'm gonna have to come up some in order to do that. So I'm gonna still stay on that middle bar and come up and put my petal on, my feathers, and make sure that I have them in the right position. Now, the first petal, to me, are the most important, okay? Those first two petals, most important. So you go ahead and put those on there. And if they're angling, put your zip tie, another zip tie on, going in a different direction, and it'll even them out, okay? I want to make sure that these are right. Okay, and this is what we're looking like, okay? Now, I haven't made any more petals, so let me show you where you go from here. You go to the inside. Number 2 will go right here, and 3 will go right above it. 4 will go across, and 5 will go right up in here. Now, is it that way every time? No. It's not that simple. I don't know if it's because the metal frames are different or what, but I slide mine around and make sure that they, like I said, they mirror each other on each side. Again, I follow this pattern though. I do. Sometimes I have, according to this, I will use 18 feather petals on each side. And that pretty much is a full roll of mesh. But sometimes I want it to be fuller, or if the mesh that I'm using is thinner, then I need more petals. So you can squish them down a little bit and compact it. You'll still follow the same pattern though, where you've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You put them on in that order, and they layer correctly. If you do it a different way, I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't, it looks messy. So you want to follow this pattern. Sometimes I have gone up to like 21 pieces on each side, depending on, again, the type of mesh that you use. All right, so this is the placement. I've shown you how to make the petals to make them go the right way. And that's pretty much it. One of the things that I do, because this is a metal frame, and the back looks like this, I finish the back. I'll use a piece of foam board that I get at Dollar Tree. I trace around my frame. Actually, this is a piece of foam board right here. So I would put this on the back like this, and actually cover this with fabric. You could use paper if you wanted to, but I always Mod Podge it, because a lot of my clients use these as memorials for their loved ones, and they'll be outside for a while. I don't recommend leaving them outside because of even the dew could, just soften everything. So I don't recommend it, but I do Mod Podge for that reason. And I zip tie this onto my frame. It's a lot of work, but it makes for a finished product. If you're making these for yourself and you're just going to put them on the wall or on the door, you don't have to finish the back, but if you're going to sell these online, I would recommend that you do that. My customers really appreciate it, and I try to, make the fabric match the florals and things like that. Now, as far as the florals go, I haven't used a bow, but maybe twice since I've been doing this, about a year and 3 or 4 months. The foam, the floral foam or styrofoam works great. You just need a small piece to go in this area right here, and I mash it on to the front here, and then I zip tie it and hot glue it on so it's not going to go anywhere. And then I place my florals in that. I have a video already on YouTube showing you that. It's pretty detailed. In fact, it's a very long video showing you from the start to the finish on how I do it, including putting the fabric on the foam board and Mod Podging it and zip tying it on the frame. But I even show you how I go about doing my florals. I have I guess you call it a style. I don't know. It's just the way that I do it, the way that I like to do it. And I like my florals to have a central part right here, but then to come out and spread around the top here. That's just what I prefer. You can do it however you want. Some people like to just have 1 or 2 things right here in the center. And again, I've done like 2, I think, with just a bow. If you're doing one for a new mother, a bow is perfect. It's just it's softer, and I don't know. I did one for a birth, and it was for a little girl, and I did a pink silk bow, and it was very pretty. So you can do it that way. Now, one other thing that I get asked a lot about is the type of mesh that I use and the colors that I use. 99.9% of my wings are white. I have been asked to do gray, and they turned out beautifully. I was surprised. I didn't think that it was going to work, but I used a poly burlap in a lighter gray, and they were gorgeous. I've also done in a wheat or a tannish color, again, poly burlap, because it tends to fold easier. Those 2 particular colors were, of course, for men. And I used, like burgundies, and for the wheat colored one, the tan, sunflowers in burgundy and gold, and it just turned out wonderfully. Another thing that I like to use is pampas grass. It's soft. It just kind of flows out to the side. I've used ornaments and stuff in the middle. One was a hunter, and I just happened to have found an ornament at Dollar Tree that had a deer head in it, and that's what I used. In fact, I've gone back this year, and they had something similar, and I bought several of them just to have them in stock. Things like that, maybe little sayings. It just depends on what your customer is going for. But anyway, that's how I do it, and you're welcome to my pattern. Anyway, let's show this one more time, just so you can take a screenshot if you'd like. There you go. I'll get it as close as I can. And there you have it. Good luck. Let me know what you think about this video. Subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment. I read them, and I try to get back to them as quickly as I can. In fact, that's why I'm doing this video, because I had someone ask me about this. Thank you so much for bearing with me and joining me today. And I'll see you again really soon at Laura Grisham Designs. Bye-bye.
Derecha, derecha, derecha. Toma, toma, toma. Mokare, mokare. Hop, 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 hop. No le mueva. Ah, las paragus.